In his introduction to Leviathan, the great English political theorist Thomas Hobbes wrote that anyone seeking to understand politics should focus on the similitude of passions, which are the same in all men: desire, fear, hope, etc., not on the similitude of the objects of the passions. Those specific objects greatly vary, are easy to be kept from our knowledge, and can never be definitely ascertained. We cannot know based on observation whether a given person, or dictator, values economic wealth or diplomatic accolades more than powerful weapons. However, the primal passions themselves, especially the paradigmatic fear of violent death, we can know simply by looking within. Paradoxically, then, the one thing that a realist like Hobbes is certain about is that everyone has the equal capacity to be made fearful and anxious by a dangerously uncertain world, and that similarity is precisely why individuals might understand and cooperate with each other. So too for states. It's not necessary to delve into high theory in order to recognize this point. When residents of Honolulu had their mornings interrupted by warnings of an incoming missile last January, they were not interested in hearing constructivist accounts of how, with time, North Korea might be socialized into a peaceful member of international society. Nor did they care whether its decades of being outcast from liberal trade and governance structures would, eventually, pressure it to adhere to UN nuclear arms resolutions and join the liberal international order. What they wanted was just assurance that they would not be incinerated. Moments of existential doubt, whether for an individual or for a state, prompt the pursuit of certainty as to these sorts of baseline matters. This is obvious enough to us as individuals when faced with the threat of death from the skies. It should be equally obvious that these same sentiments are shared by the North Korean elite and its ruler Kim Jong-un. That, as much as anything, is a promising basis to find a modus vivendi between North Korea and the United States. Establishing existential security currently, following unprecedented rapprochement during President Trump's meeting with Kim Jong-un in Singapore, the agreed process of denuclearizing the Korean peninsula has run into a new set of accusations and recriminations. Trump administration officials have pointed to apparent ongoing construction of nuclear facilities and ICBMs as signs of bad faith, while Pyongyang has noted its dissatisfaction with the gangster mindset of America's unilateral demands. Officials familiar with North Korea's positions on the ongoing negotiations have stated that Pyongyang is demanding the bold move of U.S. agreement to a peace treaty, before proceeding further with denuclearization. Only if there is a formal end to the Korean War, and formal recognition by the United States of North Korea as a sovereign state, would the process continue. As mentioned, meanwhile, the majority view within the U.S. foreign policy and national security establishments now seems to be that North Korea has played Trump and was never serious about denuclearization. Many argue that not only should any thought of a peace treaty be rejected until the regime has given up its nuclear weapons, even Trump's initial overtures were a display of weakness. We should only meet with those who come ready to kneel. The implication of such comments is that there should be a return to the policies of ostracizing North Korea, sanctioning its people into starvation, and intimidating it with the threat of regime change. This, somehow, is imagined to be a way of making it more friendly and compliant, rather than still more hostile and desperate. Following the disastrous examples of Iraq and Libya, there are few today who directly argue for imposing regime change in Pyongyang. But that remains the ultimate horizon of mainstream thinking, the only credible alternative to an arms elimination program on American terms. What is impossible for many to imagine is that North Korea might be serious about the necessity of a peace treaty as its precondition for denuclearization, that it is motivated not by confidence that it can deceive and embarrass the United States, but rather by genuine fear that its lack of recognition and state of war with the United States may result in yet another American project of regime change. A peace treaty would, at minimum, establish that neither Trump nor a future president could legally order military action against Pyongyang without congressional approval. By itself, that may not be enough to prevent a war. It may, though, be enough to transform a relationship. Discerning regime motivations. The founder of modern realist international relations theory, Hans Morgenthau, was quite attentive to existential fear as a motivator of state behavior. He wrote that politics as such, and the spirit of domination that it entails of competition among individuals or nations, only comes into play after one's survival is secured. Fundamental questions, such as whether to build nuclear weapons or to abandon them, are decided not by rational calculations of economic interest, but rather by the will to survive, and then by the will to power.